Hello and welcome Bon-Ton team members, and thank you for spending a little time with me so that I can share with you the latest in texture from Matrix. I am excited to talk about new technology from Matrix and OptiFX texturizing solution. Today I want to share with you some great ways for consultation, some modern technology, and modern ways to wrap for texture. My name is Andreas Hogue. I've been doing hair for 24 years. I loved doing texture in the past, but it was the old traditional perming methodology. But today, it's texture in a whole new way. So come with me on a journey to learning something amazing about texture from Matrix for you guys at Bon-Ton. Let's speak a moment about that new technology. I know this looks like traditional perm because it does come with your waving lotion, your activator, and your neutralizer. But there's a difference. When we talk about the carbonate technology, I want you to think about a can of soda. If we shook a can of soda and went to open it immediately, it would blow all over the place. Well, that carbonate technology is also inside of the waving lotion. When you go to open that waving lotion, you'll hear a slight release in pressure. What I want you to do is open that waving lotion and gently add the activator into the waving lotion. If you don't, this is what will happen. Now take a look as I open up the activator and I, in an oh so hastily way, pour it forcefully into the waving solution. You can see that carbonate start to blow right out and over. So I want to talk to you about the technology behind OptiFX. What's new is the addition of carbonate technology, which allows less thio, thus leaving the hair in better condition and allowing longer lasting curls with maximum shine. First thing I want to talk about is the consultation. To me, it's the most important part of the entire appointment. If you don't get that consultation right, you're going to totally miss the mark and you're not going to have a client. Now, Hannah's been my client for a long time now. Hannah, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Excellent. Hannah, I know we've talked many times in the past about perms and getting more weight texture in your hair. And I know you were always afraid of it because, you know, way back when, we used to have those old traditional perms. They didn't smell good for a couple of days, and it was just too traditional. We don't want to go backwards. Well, Hannah, we've got new technology from OptiFX, Matrix. It's got carbonate technology, it's less thio in the waving lotion, and it's just going to leave your hair much happier, much healthier. But not only do we have modern technology, but I have a modern way of wrapping. So, what is it that you're really looking for in texture?
I would really love some beachy curls. My hair doesn't curl very well, so if you can give me some curls that I can't get on my own, that'd be great.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, let me just push you a little further because I want to make sure I understand what you're talking about. Beachy curls, something that's soft and flowing, maybe easy to blow dry straight, and yet when you want to really enhance those curls, get a little bit more out of it.
I would think a little bit curlier.
A little bit curlier? Okay. Well, this is another important part of the conversation. I'm hearing that she wants beachy waves, but I also heard she wants a little curlier. So really, if I go to wrap this, and if I'm going to be on one side or another of perfection, because, you know, we need to get to know her hair, her texture, or, you know, how she's going to react. So would you rather see it maybe a little curlier or maybe a little less wave to it?
Curlier.
A little curlier? Okay. Well, now I want to look at her hair. You know, Hannah's here, as I run my fingers through her hair, and this is how we interpret what our client's texture is like. I feel that her hair is fine. But when we look at her hair, we can see that there's a really strong shine. And so what this tells me is that cuticle layer is really laying down tight. And so it's gonna want a little bit stronger waving lotion. But with that fine hair, I don't wanna go too strong because I don't wanna, you know, ruin the texture of her hair. So to me, using a normal texturizing lotion is probably gonna be best for me. Now, as I look at her hair, she's got nice, beautiful long hair. And you know, Hannah, we have this other awesome addition to the technology. It's called the Wave Customizer. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to wrap you with one size rod, but by using the Wave Customizer, I can have some of the waves really tight and springy and some of them a little bit looser. It'll give you a beautiful combination of curl. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Here we are at the shampoo bowl. We're getting ready to clarify her, and this really is one of the most important parts of the shampoo. If we don't clarify, we're not getting rid of the impurities, the water minerals, or anything that might be on her hair that could stop the process from happening. So what we're going to use today is Matrix Pro Solutionist Alternate Action Clarifying Shampoo. It's an awesome shampoo and it's gentle on the hair. But most importantly, we don't want to scrub the scalp too much. We don't want to cause any irritation at the beginning, the middle, or the end of this service. So take a little care. I know that this is when the client comes back and it's the best part of her day, but we can treat her to something much more special later on. So I'm going to get started with using the clarifying shampoo, giving her one clarifying gentle shampoo, and then we're going to take her back over to the chair and I'll show you the next step. We have Hannah sitting here, and I sectioned her off already into 10 different sections using ponytail holders to secure the hair at the base of each section. I want to walk you through each section, but don't worry, you're going to be having education in salons to walk you through this in a little bit more detail. We start off by using the natural fall of her hair to start the first section. On her right, we subdivide that into two sections and we go off the top, the high point of the ear, and follow up over the top of her head. And we're going to break those down into two sections. On the opposite side, okay, we're going to come along the parietal ridge, okay, and meet up where we subdivided her into two and create two more sections, again securing with ponytail holders. Okay. Now the back of the head is really fun because we're going to subdivide these two in half, right, following just above the occipital bone, and drop it. We're going to make a nice pie shape here. Secure that at the bottom of the section. What this does is it creates that triangle already, and you'll have these two triangles already formed for you. Secure again at the base of each one of those sections so that you have like nice 3 slices of pie at the bottom. The top section, we could take out another triangle, secure that at the base. On the left and right sides, what you'll see is 2 more pie shapes already sectioned for you, and just secure those again at the base. We're doing this because we don't want to add texture into this part of her hair. Remember, when we were speaking, she wanted those soft, beachy waves, but she didn't want to have too much texture. These little spaces are going to ensure that she doesn't have too much volume at the scalp. Later, I will show you another wrap that does give more volume because some of your clients will want more volume, but it still softens up at the top of the head to still have that modern edge. All right, as I take her back over, now I want to show you how to wrap a few rods. Keep in mind, we want to keep every section wet as we're working. Okay? The first step that we're going to do is we're going to take that first ponytail, we're actually going to divide it into 2 equal pieces. Okay? We're going to take the end papers, and you want to make sure that you sandwich each piece with 2 end wraps. I'm doing this because her hair is long, and I know that somewhere in between here I could lose a couple of hairs. So using 2 pieces, make sure we have a little bit of water. Take your rod and slowly wrap that paper in. And remember that as you're wrapping, to shimmy back and forth so that you have even tension throughout that rod. Secure it. Okay. And then we're going to move on to the next section. Let that rod dangle. We'll secure it later with some pins. Again, make sure that each hair is nice and smooth, and do your double wrap. You can see this technique and many other techniques at mymatrixfamily.com. It's a great resource to see not only different techniques in texture, but in color. Now remember, I spoke earlier about wrapping opposite directions. That first wrap I wrapped up. This wrap I'm wrapping under. Okay, come all the way up. Okay. And secure. Now, make sure that your rubber bands are nice and tight. And this is where we're going to put our securing pins in. 1, 2. Okay, nice and tight. I'm going to continue wrapping her, and as she goes in the process, I'm going to pull out a mannequin and show you another way to show texture that gives more volume. All right, now I want to talk about the zigzag wrap. And unlike the last wrap, the only part that's going to have a ponytail is the top section. The rest of the sections are going to be wrapped in your traditional manner. Let's take a closer look. So our first section is a pie-shaped section on the top of the head. It starts on the outside corner of the eyes and goes to approximately 4 to 5 inches towards the back of the scalp. All right, take that section, again, secure it towards the back of the section with a rubber ponytail holder that we're going to remove just before we add the solution. The back of the head starts out by sectioning off the rest of the hair in two sections, above and below the occipital bone. Secure this so that it's out of your way, and we're going to create a nice zigzag pattern to separate between the occipital bone and the nape. Secure both of those so that you're out of your way, and create another little zigzag pattern with the rest of the sections between the occipital bone and the top of the head, and secure those so that you're out of the way. Now I want to show you closer what it looks like when it's actually wrapped. As you can see, the top ponytail is secured in 4 rods. Each one of those rods is wrapped in counter wrapped directions. One goes in, one goes out, one goes in, one goes out. We're using the pins to secure them so that we can, again, remove that rubber band before we apply the solution. Now looking at the next 4 sections, these sections are wrapped towards the face, and the bottom section is wrapped towards the back. That way we create that soft wave pattern. And by wrapping them in a traditional manner, we create more volume through the sides, and yet by having this section left out, we still have that modern softness at the top of the head. So that's the second wrap, and what it does is it has that softness at the top, but stronger wave patterns and more volume at the scalp. So that's for people who want more volume. The zigzag pattern in the back ensures that the hairs that are all wrapped away or the hairs that are all wrapped towards, we don't create a line of division between those 2 sections. This has 5 sections. On the top, we have the pie, 2 sections across the parietal ridge, 2 sections in the nape, and there you have it, modern texture. All right, we've got Hannah fully wrapped, and I actually already went in and I removed the majority of the rubber bands, but I'm going to remove one more, and I want to show you exactly what I'm doing to remove it. I have my scissors. I'm going to go really close in and ever so carefully just cut the rubber band itself. And you can slowly see it pop, and as soon as it loosens, don't touch it. Just let the rods lie where they are. Now I'm going to apply the cotton, properly mix the solution, and show you proper application. Now I've already applied the protective cream on Hannah, and now I'm going to apply our cotton. I'm going to work our way around the rods, okay? Secure it behind the ear, and let the cotton drape behind her. Working both sides very carefully not to disturb the rods, but I do want to protect her from anything dripping. And now I'm going to show the proper way to mix our product together. Now we're going to mix our waving lotion properly. In our consultation, we looked at her hair, and because of her density and texture, we decided on using normal. So the first thing I do is I take my waving lotion. I carefully open it, and if you listen, you can hear a little pressure released. Take my activator, open it up, and I'm going to slowly add the 2 together. Again, remember, if you add it too quickly, that carbonate technology will foam right over. After you've fully released all of the activator into your waving lotion bottle, close it back up again, and swirl it like you would a fine red wine. This swirling action is really enough to bring the 2 parts together and make that solution active. Now before you cut the top, make sure you open that one more time. Release the pressure, close it up, go ahead and cut it off. Let's take a look at proper application. Each rod is going to receive 3 passes. We're going to use 1 across the center, 1 across the top, and 1 across the bottom. I've applied the solution to all the rest of the rods, and now I'm going to put a bag over each one of the rods, and then I'm going to let her process for 5 to 25 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to check every 5. I'm going to do a test curl. I'll show you one of those in a minute. While Hannah's processing, let me talk to you about something else that's revolutionary in the texture business. It's the Wave Customizer. What this does is it lowers the pH, and that helps to elongate the curl. Do you remember back in the day, we would do a rod transfer? We would, wrap the hair on a tight rod, and then what we would do is we would unwrap and rewrap with a larger rod, or we would just drop the rods all together and add the neutralizer to that. Well, it would just create a perm that wouldn't last. Imagine this. Imagine now we have a customizer that can help to elongate that curl just like I did on this Slinky. So you keep the dimensions of what that curl is, but you've allowed the hair to just drop and be a little bit longer. I love the customizer, and I can use it in so many different ways. Perhaps I want somebody that has some tight curls. I'll leave one rod out, but I can add the customizer to other rods. So if I go through a perm, I can wrap each other wrap, or hit each other rod with the customizer, have some tight curls and some loose. Imagine all the possibilities that you can have using the Wave Customizer. It's time for our test curl. Let's take off the plastic bag and check. So, move up your pins so we don't lose them. Okay. Just carefully remove that rod. Unwrap it and shimmy back and forth again a little bit. See that the hair is ribboning and taking to that curl pattern. Right now, it doesn't look like she's processed yet. We'll do another test in 5 minutes. Watch that pin. The ribboning effect is much better, and you can see that the curl pattern is much tighter, and it matches our rod. So I'm going to put that back in. I'm going to take her to the bowl, and I'm going to rinse. We're going to take Hannah back to the shampoo bowl, and we're going to rinse her for 5 minutes with lukewarm water. We're going to towel blot until all the excess moisture is removed. Then we're going to decide if we're going to use the Wave Customizer. If we are going to use the Wave Customizer, we're going to apply it to the rod with one pass. And if we decide that we want to use every other curl, we'll do it back there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I completed rinsing the neutralizer, and I've towel blotted to remove all the excess moisture. And thinking back to our consultation where she said she wanted to have those soft beachy waves, I've decided we're definitely using the Wave Customizer, and I'm going to show you exactly how to apply that so we don't over apply. Now let me show you exactly how to apply the Wave Customizer, making sure that we're not over applying. Each rod gets just one pass, and don't be over generous. I'm going to stop from the top rod, and I'm going to work my way down. But I'm going to make sure that I apply just enough to make one pass. Continue on to the following rods and work your way around the entire head. The Wave Customizer has been on for 5 minutes. Now we're going to apply the neutralizer and let that sit for 5 minutes as well. Now I know you may be tempted to drop the rods like traditional perms, but this is new technology. We leave the rods in. Let me show you how to do it. I'm going to apply the neutralizer generously to each rod, but I want you to leave a little bit left in the bottle. I want you to do this because after we drop the rods, we want to saturate the mid-length and ends. I've dropped the rods, and I'm going to apply the remainder of the neutralizer into the mid-length and ends. And then I'm going to gently scrunch in to ensure the complete saturation of the neutralizer into the hair. This is very important, especially on very long hair, because you want to make sure that everything is completely saturated with the neutralizer. Now that I've done that, I'm going to rinse, and I'll be ready to style. So we're at the end of our texture service, and I finished up with our styling. I wanted to share with you the 2 products that I used in her hair today and tell you why I used them. I used the hydrofoaming styler. I used it at her base and to give her volume but without crunch. And I used the blow and control towards her ends because I wanted that little extra moisture to seal those ends, and it's a great product that won't weigh the hair down. You'll notice that agave has those awesome moisturizing properties and healing properties as well. But you're gonna see more and more products in their salon that have the agave in them, and you'll hear about them in classes to come. Bon-Ton, I wanna say thank you for having me. It has been a great time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thank you.